Yavinder, can you hear me? Hi. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have.
So, how have you been?
All good. Fine. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ?
How's lockdown treating you at home?
Okay. So now, how's the situation in Delhi?
Situation in Delhi is under control because GTB Hospital and Lok Nayak Hospital have made up to 500 beds each ICU facility just outside their hospitals in the empty plot. So
Okay.
there were 15 admissions yesterday in Lok Nayak Hospital and about 50 odd admissions in GTB. So they have ample capacity right now. Oxygen supply is okay. So we are running on a 500 to 600 MT of oxygen a day. We have ample load, so that's not a problem.
So that's better. That's good.
The issue is the spread in the village areas, which is bound to happen because of the new strain.
Yes.
And lots of children
You
are under threat because Singapore has just shut down all schools today from Wednesday onwards. So because of the Indian strain, that's 1.1167. So what they are saying is that the Indian strain is affecting kids in much more than anybody else. I won't call it the
oh,
Indian strain. It's just a variety of a strain which came into India and it just indigenized itself.
true.
So we are dealing with that, and let's see how it goes. I'm just waiting for a couple of more people to join in, and we're going to discuss the areas going forward in terms of how are we going to do about control in the villages, because there the primary health centers and the lack of paramedics, doctors, any kind of hospital support is very meager, and 85
But
90 crore
like
people are living in
like
villages. Yeah, please.
like here, like when we came to Delhi, initially, like it's been
Ah,
about a month, I was
ah,
positive.
ah,
So we came to Bhatinda, obviously, phone. Matlab, I found, Punjab way more systematic than Delhi. We
hmm,
received a Fateh kit.
hmm,
Every day there was a call. Everywhere we had to, update our oxygen levels and everything. But
hmm,
now actually the villages are going bad because people are, एक दो दिन दा बुखार ही है ठीक हो जाएगा and
hmm,
all that types
hmm, hmm.
mentality. कि कोई गल नहीं, and people are still not able to believe that corona exists.
That's a very big problem, especially in rural areas, and lots of people don't believe that there's anything called corona. What they're trying to say
Exactly.
is that it's some kind of virus which affects only the city dwellers, and that's the kind of notion that everybody carries. कि पिंड वाਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ,
Okay.
ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. Hmm.
Because they think na farmers sitting at the protest ਉੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ, ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ?
I don't know. See, one of the leaders of BKU Ugraha group, the head of the Ugraha, Joginder Singh Ugraha, did contracted coronavirus and he was admitted to PGI Chandigarh. This was in the month of end March, early April. So he was 5 days in the hospital and he got treated and he came back and he said, no, it is there. But then it is affecting people who are older and with comorbidities. I have comorbidities. I'm 74 years old. The younger lot who gets enough of who has enough immunity built up, and they have been living in a herd immunity atmosphere, because a lot of these places, you say the Singhu and Tikri and the other places, the
Mhm.
influx is not much. There are people, these people have been living together for the last 6 to 7 months. Even if some people had asymptomatic the patients, probably they have developed some kind of a herd immunity, but I'm not sure, because this herd immunity in itself is a very challengeable discussion, because
True. Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
the doctors don't believe in herd immunity, but then some scientists say that herd immunity works. They tried to do it in European nation, it did not work. And if it would have worked, then there would have been no COVID to wave 2 or wave 3. So that means herd
Yeah.
immunity is not working.
Yeah. Even I was asymptomatic. I only had a body ache, no other symptom.
Yeah, yeah. So I had some symptoms in September. I fell sick on the 19th of September, and it took me 10 days, 6 days of fever. I was on azithromycin and I took Crocin 650. I spoke to a doctor. They said till the 7th day, if you have symptoms of viral pneumonia or any kind of complications, then you stay at home and isolate yourself for 14 days. And that's exactly what I did. I was at home for 7 days, and then I took 14 days of course of this zinc and vitamin C and multivitamins. And that's how I recovered. And probably they say that the antibodies you built up is something you need to, the antibodies work for 3 to 4 months. I don't know whether they work for me, but they did a fabulous job, because till end of March I was fine. I was going in the आंदोलन also. हाँ जी, प्रबल जी कैसे हैं आप? ये प्रबल जी हैं, हमारे बहुत ही अच्छे मित्र हैं. He's been there with us since January. He's part of our farmers protest also. Plus he's from Gorakhpur. And he's working very closely as with a lot of Corona warrior teams, and he's got ample knowledge on politics and the new COVID-19. प्रबल जी, डॉक्टर विंदर ढिल्लन मेरी स्कूलमेट हैं और मेरे फ्रेंड की कजन भी हैं और डॉक्टर भी हैं, और ये द्वारका में अभी फिलहाल ये अभी गांव में कल पंजाब में हैं आप? अविंदा, आई एम पंजाब राइट नाउ. अब ये पंजाब में है, वैसे द्वारका में रहते हैं ये. पहले वसंत कुंज में थी आप, अब मेरे ख्याल द्वारका में है. सो इनके हस्बैंड भी मेरे फ्रेंड हैं, मेरे जूनियर हैं स्कूल से, वो भी लॉजिस्टिक्स में हैं. तो हम लोग का डिस्कशन जो था अभी जो हम लोग शुरू करने वाले हैं प्रबल जी, वो इस मामले में है कि जो स्टिग्मा है रूरल एरियाज में कि कोरोना तो है ही नहीं, कोरोना का बुखार तो होता ही नहीं है. कोरोना बुजुर्गों को होता है या उन लोगों को होता है जो पहले से बीमार हैं, और इसीलिए वो टेस्ट कराने भी नहीं जा रहे हैं, और इसी वजह से वो रिपोर्ट भी नहीं हो रही है, घर जा भी नहीं रहे हैं, और स्प्रेड भी हो रहा है वायरस. सिंगापुर में मैंने भी इनको बताया, विंदर ढिल्लन जी को, कि सिंगापुर स्कूलों ने ये जो वैरायटी है B1167, इस वैरायटी को लेके वहाँ पे सिंगापुर में डिटेक्ट हुई है, तो वहाँ पे इन्होंने बच्चों के स्कूल बंद कर दिए हैं, बिकॉज कहते हैं बच्चों को बहुत इफेक्ट करेगा ये, खासकर 4 साल से 12 साल 15 साल की उम्र बच्चों को. तो सिंगापुर में बुधवार से सारे स्कूल बंद हो गए हैं 28 मई तक, उसके बाद वेकेशन हो जाएंगी. ये सिंगापुर की गवर्नमेंट ने फैसला लिया है. तो मेरा आज आप लोग दोनों से सवाल है, डॉक्टर साहब से भी सवाल है पहले, और फिर मैं प्रबल जी से सवाल करूंगा. मेरा सवाल ये है कि जो ये कोविड केयर सेंटर्स जो खुल रहे हैं, कोविड केयर सेंटर्स जो गवर्नमेंट कह रही है, अभी इन्होंने 3 टियर सिस्टम बनाया है, उस 3 टियर सिस्टम में कोविड केयर सेंटर बनेंगे. उस कोविड केयर सेंटर में 30 बेड्स होंगे. उन 30 बेड्स पे 1 या 2 ऑक्सीमीटर्स दिए जाएंगे, 5-5 किलो के ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स प्रोवाइड किए जाएंगे, और कुछ दवाइयों की फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड की जाएगी उन लोगों के लिए जिनका ऑक्सीजन लेवल 94 से ऊपर है, नीचे नहीं, 94 और 94 से ऊपर है, जिनको हम कहते हैं माइल्ड केसेस. और उसके बाद वो प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर्स और आपका कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर्स के साथ उनको अटैच किया जाएगा. ये जो कम्युनिटी सेंटर्स बनेंगे वो बनेंगे गांव देहात में, जहां विलेजेस में, जहां कम्युनिटी एरियाज हो, पंचायत एरियाज हो, या वहां कोई सिनेमा हॉल हो या बैंक्वेट हॉल हो या कोई शादी का घर हो, तो वहां बनाए जाएंगे. जो प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर्स और कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर्स हैं, सब डिविजनल हॉस्पिटल्स जो छोटे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में हैं, डिस्ट्रिक्ट के सब सेंटर्स में जिनको बोलते हैं हम, कस्बों में या एक पर्टिकुलर डिस्ट्रिक्ट एरियाज में, ब्लॉक्स में, वहां पे कह रहे हैं कि हम वहां पे 90 to 94 के मॉडरेट केसेस, उनको हम वहां एडमिट करेंगे, और उनके लिए हम 1 पल्स मीटर पर बेड देंगे. वहां कह रहे थे कि 1 पल्स मीटर पर 10 बेड्स देंगे. यहाँ कह रहे हैं डेडिकेटेड कोविड हेल्थ सेंटर्स जो होंगे, जो प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर्स और कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर्स को सपोर्ट करेंगे, वहां पे बेड्स की क्वांटिटी भी 30 रखी जाएगी. 1 पल्स मीटर पर बेड होगा, और एक O2 का डायरेक्ट सोर्स होगा जो 24/7 ऑक्सीजन प्रोवाइड करेगा. ये मॉडरेट केसेस के लिए होगा जिनका SpO2 लेवल 90 to 94 है, जिनमें रेस्पिरेटरी प्रॉब्लम्स 24 रेस्पिरेटरी पर मिनट प्रॉब्लम है, जिसमें या उसमें एक्सरे यूनिट भी अवेलेबल होगी, 24/7 ऑक्सीजन होगी, रिसरेक्शन बैग्स भी होंगे, और फैसिलिटी फॉर बायोकेमिस्ट्री टेस्ट एंड ब्लड टेस्ट अवेलेबल होगा वहां पे डेडिकेटेड कोविड हेल्थ सेंटर्स में. अब ये जो चेन बनाई है इन्होंने 3 टियर सिस्टम, जिसमें पहला है, मैंने आपको बताया, कोविड केयर सेंटर्स, उसके बाद उनकी एसोसिएशन जो है प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर्स और कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर्स के साथ होगी, जिसमें ये माइल्ड टू मॉडरेट माइल्ड केसेस हैंडल करेंगे, और जहां भी कोई मॉडरेट केस आएगा 90 से नीचे का, वो डायरेक्टली डेडिकेटेड कोविड हेल्थ सेंटर्स में चला जाएगा, जहां पे उसका इलाज होगा। अगर वहां वो हैंडल नहीं होगा तो फिर वो बड़े अस्पताल में, डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेंटर में भेज दिया जाएगा। ये इन्होंने एक 3 टियर सिस्टम गवर्नमेंट ने बनाया है, दे रहा है, दुरुस्त है फिलहाल। मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि पंजाब में आप रहते हैं, आप ये बताइए कि वहां पे ऐसा कोई कम्युनिटी हेल्थ ऑफिसर्स अपॉइंटेड हैं आपके वहां डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, विलेज एरियाज में या ब्लॉक एरियाज में? वहां पे क्या आशा, आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर्स या कुछ सोशल हेल्थ वर्कर्स या डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल में कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है पंजाब में जिससे कंट्रोल किया जा सके गांव देहात में?
See, AJ, Punjab mein ho to raha hai. The situation is well controlled because yesterday only I was talking to my bhabi belongs to a village nearby Bathinda only. So the 70 people in the village are affected. The population is 2600 of a village, but puri team aayi hai ghar pe. They have screened each and every, including the workers. So then they have which is positive, who are negative, and they are providing the medical.
Okay. Yeah, we lost your voice. You can come again.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right.
There was a call. Yeah. So then, but then when I was also positive, like Manmeet was also positive, there were this Anganwadi workers who came to our houses and provided us the facilities. So I think, according to me, like, because I suffered and I'm not in Delhi and I'm seeing the pain of Delhi, so situations between Delhi and Punjab, I could really feel the difference that Punjab was well maintained than Delhi.
Punjab is well maintained. And in terms of medicines, now there is a clear shortage of these paracetamol and
even zinc also.
Punjab has a shortage
of zinc also.
Over-the-counter medicines are not available.
No,
they are not available.
Here there are. I don't know about Chandigarh or Patiala and all that, Amritsar and all, but here they are available. There, I don't think so. I have not found any this medicine is not available or this is not available. Everything is available here.
Acha. In UP, there is a clear shortage of paracetamol. Over-the-counter medicines are not available.
I heard in Delhi.
Delhi, a lot of steroids are not available. You will.
Zinc was not available.
You will know that with this new steroid problem, there's this mucormycosis that is called black fungus has started. And amphotericin B is an antifungal medicine which is prescribed for dealing with black fungus. This medicine is totally gone off the availability right now. 3 to 4 mg body weight is given, so you require a huge quantity for people, and there are 30 to 40 black fungus patients right now in Delhi, and they are not being treated properly because they've been getting medicine.
There are so many cases in Ludhiana, UP. There are around 20-25 cases in Ludhiana only.
Of black fungus?
Black fungus, yeah.
So can you tell me what is this black fungus and how does it come? Yeah, how
black fungus, as it is obviously a new thing, new theory. What we are going through is like it is after post-COVID patient who have been massively treated with steroids.
Okay.
Right, and how it is affecting? It is affecting your eyes, ENT. It's like eyes, nose, your upper arch.
Yeah. And it's you have your jaw gets broken or
maxilla. There are pictures coming, there are theories coming, they are opening the entire, this vision is gone. The symptoms are vision is gone. And we dentists are more vulnerable to all these things. We are not advised to do any extractions for next 4-5 months. It affects your bone.
Yeah, you lose your eye, you could lose your jaw, you can have a permanent disability with it.
Yes. If not treated, like, if there's a nasal discharge, black nasal discharge, and you are not, chalo koi gal nahi, this is a blood clot, it can. Some people in villages also, they have that mindset, chalo koi baat nahi hai, ji hai naksir foot ki honi hai, and all that type stigma, and they say, no, it is fine, I am fine. Okay. So these all kinds of things, awareness need to be, for this, especially for this black fungus.
Okay, but then have we able to identify what kind of steroids cause black fungus and they shouldn't be given, and
No,
how they can
this,
not be
this
given?
is not being mentioned in any theory yet.
Earlier they were saying it's because of the oxygen cylinders being not clean and a lot of moisture coming in, and multiple usage of the same line of oxygen that a lot of people are inhaling the same, is because of which this problem is multiplying. Is it possible that it's because of the oxygen being given that black fungus?
No, I have not read this. I'm only the theories we are getting is only that it is just because of the overusage of steroids.
So it was probably a false alarm which started that it's because of the oxygen being given in the hospitals because of hygienic problems that this black fungus is spreading. It is not because of hygiene or other factor. It's because of steroids.
No, I don't know anything about it yet, but I'll find it out soon.
Yeah,
We'll
I
find.
got to know about it that it's because of hygiene and sanitation, and a lot of oxygen pipes are not being cleaned on time, and multiple usage with multiple people. Because of that, it's happening. Anyways, black fungus, black fungus is something which we need to find more details about. We clearly don't know what's causing it besides steroids, and what kind of steroids are causing it. We don't even know that. Thirdly, is that in terms of oxygen supply, ventilator supply, ICU setup, because what I got to know from a lot of patients when I was talking to them yesterday, we lost one patient in Kanpur. He obviously what I've understood with various, I'm not a doctor, but I try to speak to many people. And this is 5 days. If the fever doesn't go, then you need to show it to a doctor. And if SpO2 level are going below 94, it means that you need to be hospitalized or going into at least a clinic which can hold a COVID center, which can give you proper oxygen support. And if it goes below 90, then you need moderate help. You need to go to a specialized doctor and a specialized hospital, which can, in exigencies, they can put you on ventilator support also. So during the treatment, lot of these patients, they get viral pneumonia. This is a basic thing, that they get viral pneumonia, and the pneumonia causes pleurisy in the lungs. You have viral load, and then you have water retention, and then you have also 5% people have complications of cardiovascular problems, blood clotting in the thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis, arterial thrombosis, cerebral thrombosis, which is concerned with the brain, and then with the liver also, kidneys also, lots that happens. And these clots are so small, and they go into such small veins of your like those microorganism of your lungs also has blood circulation, and the clot can form into the inner lining of any of the vein. And because it cannot be, it cannot be detected on time, and the treatment is very, very kind of critical, because you need lots of LASIK equipments and to detect and to clear the clot, is that people die eventually because of non-treatment, because of non-availability of specialized staff, or non-availability of high-end kind of microscopic machines.
Depends on viral load also. Sudden the viral load. Just 4 days back, we lost a very, he was just 48, a very good friend's brother. He was just 48.
48. We've seen
2 hours, 2 hours, and after 14 days from the day one of getting COVID, after 14 days, he was fine. Oxygen level was fine. He was in Ludhiana. Everything was fine. And at 12 o'clock, he met his wife. Everything was fine. And at 2 o'clock, he was no more. And it was cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest. So cardiac arrest is because of the clotting. When you have clot and you don't have enough oxygen going in and going out, it causes your septic shock to begin with. Septic shock turns into a cardiac event, and a cardiac event is then again you try and do BiPAP, and you try and revive the patient, but then the battle is lost by that time. Yeah, because
at that stage, the doctor cannot do anything. I think so. That is why 2 hours. Yeah.
So, given that 5% cases, we are just assuming that 95% cases get treated with paracetamol and basic vitamins and zinc. Right now, we were also giving absorbic acid to a lot of village community, because vitamin C is in short supply. You can't give Lim-C to everyone. So absorbic acid, maybe natural form of zinc. We're trying to tell people to eat a lot of green vegetables, root vegetables, because that has source of zinc. If they're non-vegetarian, they can eat eggs. and they can have chicken because then you get multivitamins, minerals through. Because COVID also causes some kind of lack of you don't feel very hungry. You don't get hungry, and
like
lose your appetite.
Loss of
appetite. And because of this loss of appetite, people have this kind of problem, and they are not eating well, and they're not eating well. I will take time, 5 minutes. So they are not taking their things on time, and because of which
during this time I have been doing online consultation of patients, of COVID patients.
Yeah.
Because we are a team in Dwarka, I'm the coordinator, so I'm coordinating the patient with the right doctor, with the right physician. So I'm on the call. So 10 people, 8 have loss of appetite.
Yeah. So because of the dependency on medicines, it's very hard to treat patients. So 95% patient can still be taken care of, as medical journals say, 90 to 95% people get treated with Crocin and with basic medicines and with dietary habits.
Dolo and all.
People as a challenge. The 5% people now, they're showing a case fatality rate of 1.5%, which means that 3.5% people are basically being, this whole jing bang is for those 3.5% people, because if a case fatality ratio is 1.5%, then out of 40 lakh people who are actually positive as of right now, on average is 37 lakhs to 40 lakhs people right now who are active positive, which means 12 lakh people need health support. They need proper medical support. Now, what I fail to understand is that why these 12 to 15 lakh people who require immediate medical attention are still losing the battle to life. Why is that? What is the problem? Is this problem from before, or this problem has just come in now?
It has just come in, and I think first the people are like, ghar se theek ho jayenge, and then obviously they rush at the last moment and the facility, they're not getting admissions, they're not getting proper oxygen. Last 10 days were really bad in Delhi.
Yeah. Okay.
They were really bad. And what happens then? Obviously, and virus it doesn't see it's which day and you're not getting the oxygen, or you are outside the hospital and I have to wait. And the spread happens. It's just like going on and on.
Yeah. Okay. So what I mean to say is that in case if you're not able to provide proper services on time, which means that we will lose another 3.5 lakh people, because out of 140 lakh people, the actual figure right now for fatality is about 4,500, which is about 1.2% CFR. But if this figure goes to 5%, and we assume that all the 5% people who are getting complex, who getting kind of these problems, then our figures will go on to 40,000 patients. It will become 40,000 fatality probably from 4,000 per day, which is the danger sign.
And then how will we handle?
Yes, that's the problem, because 40,000 fatality is a lot. And if 40 lakh cases, we have not been able to test people in villages. We have not been able to test people in the length and breadth of the country, because antigen tests are not, you know that antigen tests, 50% tests are just
not reliable.
Yeah, 50% tests are not reliable. So what do you do?
I don't know. What about RT-PCR also?
RT-PCR with the COVID, this wave 2, a lot of false negatives are coming. People have symptoms, but then, as I said, is that this virus is affecting, the new variety of virus is affecting in multifold. It is not just the ARSD anymore. It is not just your respiratory syndrome anymore. Earlier on the airwave, you were getting the virus and you were getting the viral load, and you were detecting the RT-PCR, the cycle, how many cycles, CTC cycles are there. But now it is going beyond the airwave, inside your body, and it is going inside your lungs, it's going inside your veins, and it is putting itself, and it is hiding somewhere within your body and fighting your system. And that is why the false negatives are coming. So let's assume that we are not going as per the tests. Anyways, this wave 2, we had less than 1.5 million tests and more than 2.5 million people affected already. Reported, I'm saying, I'm not saying unreported ones. So 2.5 million people are already affected, reported, out of 1 million tests. Last year, there were 3.5 million tests, but 1.2 million reported. So it was a different story. So this year, the story is very different. 2.5 million reported means there could be 6 million or 8 million or 10 million people who are already affected, or could be more, I don't know. Unofficial figures say that 20 lakh people were already affected and they're having 20,000 fatalities every day, which we are reporting as 4,000. A lot of municipalities which are reporting cremation from the cremation ground. Those facts can be ascertained. What we can do is go through the Gram Pradhans, go through the Jila Panchayats, and ask those people to make a list of people who've died in the time period, let's say April 1 to May 15th, in 45 days.
Yeah.
And how many people died because of COVID. They can, because those certificates of death certificates could have those reason for people who died. It cannot be 100% correct, but 80% you can get to know the figures. So if we get figures from the villages, Gram Pradhans, I think we'll have a more accurate figures on number of deaths being reported. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. So yeah. So let's see. I really don't know what should be the, because I was very worried about how this 3-tier system of the government is going to work now. You know, only by pulse meters on oxygen support. How can you?
In our field, we say what is the line of the treatment. Now in this, like, what should be the line of the treatment then?
Yeah, that's what I don't know the line of treatment, because they have less paramedics, they have less doctors, especially in PHC centers. Those doctors, those are deputed in those areas, don't even report for work, because they get 50 or 60% salary without reporting for work. This has been a norm for so many years now. Primary healthcare centers, the situation is very bad, and we've been seeing it since we've been going to school.
Punjab government last my Mani's real sister's daughter, she's been appointed. Abhi they have recruited 50 doctors.
Yeah.
But they have been appointed to the non-COVID centers?
They are sending, what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a community of health officers. Anybody who wants to volunteer to go to these primary healthcare centers and COVID healthcare centers and do work, but then people are scared. They don't want to get out of the house. A lot of people are scared to go out. Their family, even if they want to work and they want to do something, their families don't permit them to go. Is that you are going to affect us also? We have old people, we have old grandparents, you have old parents. How can you go? Risk yourself, risk us, risk your wife, risk your kids, because anybody's getting it right now. It's not that earlier in COVID-1 we had 30 to 40% people, 30 to 40, 45 age group were considered to be safe. 20 years and below were considered to be the safest. But now I don't think so anybody's safe. Or even a 1-year-old child or a 1-month-old toddler, just newborn babies getting it.
But then this wave, the need of oxygen is more. There was never the need of oxygen in the first wave.
Yeah.
So people are very, very scared.
So it is going to go worse. Probably it's going to go worse. As they are saying, the third wave is going to be more deadly. I don't know when third wave is going to come, because the second wave refuses to subside. I really don't know whether there's going to be a third wave or not.
They are saying the third wave is going to affect the kids more.
Yes. The second wave is anyways affecting the kid, because Singapore government has already said that this new virus B1617, which is coming via UK to India to wherever, it's affecting, 5 people have already died in UK. Boris Johnson has already admitted it. Singapore government have shut school. Hong Kong government is going to shut school. So, and if this virus is not brought under control in India, we have such a huge population. We constitute probably the whole of Europe is equal to India right now. So
130 crores.
Yeah, we have the population of the entire EU. We are the second most populous country in the world. Maybe China is number 1, we are number 2. So and people here travel very fast.
I wanted to ask you one thing, but what about the vaccination? Now people are scared and they want to get vaccination done. I
was discussing about vaccination yesterday with 2 friends of mine, and vaccination is a tricky subject, because I have not understood 2 things which I want to talk to you about. A is that you get your first vaccine. Okay, people are lucky who got their first vaccine in the month of January, February, March, April, till first week of April. I got my first vaccine on 7th of April. Though I did not know that it's going to wave 2 is coming in. It was just that when they opened for 45 plus, I qualified with. So first they opened up. 5th, I fixed my appointment on Covin app. I went to the Max Hospital, got myself a Covishield injection. Now they said you come back in 28 to 40 days. I said okay, fine. I was keeping a calendar. My 30 days got over on 7th of May, and my 40 days got over today, precisely today. So according to them, I should have got my injection done between 7th and 17th. But now they're telling me is that then they told me that you come after 4 to 6 weeks because your immunity is strong enough, you can hold it for 2 months. So okay, fine. That is the case. And anyways, there's a shortage. Let people get first injections also, because I don't want to, hold anybody and get myself 2 injections. But otherwise, others are waiting for the first injection also. I said, okay, let me wait for 8 weeks. I'll go on 7th June and get it done. Then yesterday, ICMR issued another guideline saying that you could wait for 12 weeks. Since UK has given a guideline last 2 weeks back, 3 weeks back, now you could wait for 12 weeks. Now, what I don't understand is that if I had COVID, what was my immunity? Whether my immunity was for 3 months or 4 months before I go for my first shot, I did not know that. But unfortunately, I got my first injection exactly after October, November, December, January, February, March, after 6 months. So for 6 months, I did not have COVID again. So April, I got my. I don't even know when should I go for my. I'm not very clear. I'm not sure. I don't know whether they're going to give me vaccine before 12 weeks. The second vaccine. I don't know. I haven't called them. They said your second vaccine is available. Whenever you will come, we'll give it to you. That's what the hospital says. But then they keep changing guidelines. I don't know. And then there is a risk that I have heard that a lot of people who got their second injections have also they got contracted COVID because they went to the hospital. Probably there were a lot of people around, or it's just in the air, or maybe my immunity will go down as soon as this, because when I got the first injection, I had the fever for the first day, which I could, okay, that's normal. I could handle the fever. Right. But then after 4 or 5 days of continuously working, 6th, 7th day, I felt so drained out. It took me 4 days to actually, kind of get back my energy level. So obviously this vaccine is working very, very profoundly in our body. I don't know whether this lack of energy and lack of doing anything, it is because the vaccine or it's psychiatric or it's psychological. I really don't know. But now,
if you don't know, 5 people from my inner core circle, they got infected after the first dose.
I have got the first dose. I have had COVID-1. I don't know. In September. I don't know when should I go for my second vaccine and whether they'll allow me before 12 weeks or after 8 weeks. I don't know. And after 8 weeks, they say that doctors say your immunity does not go down. It's an immunity built up. It's an immunity shot. So if you go, they will give you antiviral, dead virus that goes inside your bodies, and your body immediately starts to react and build up antibodies. Now, earlier they were saying after getting the second injections, your actual antibody test should be after 14 days of getting the second injection. They were saying that earlier. You remember? Now, if I go for a second vaccine and my immunity for those 14 days goes down, and I'm sitting at home, and a lot of people are getting the virus sitting at home. You don't need to go out. You don't need to go out of your 4 walls and say कि मेरे को virus हो गया. आपको घर बैठे भी हो रहा है. You're sitting in your room. You don't allow anybody in, but you're still getting the virus.
Last night only, I got a patient admission in Manipal.
Yeah.
And they were like, at the first day of fever, they went to Manipal, antigen test kiya. He was positive, and she was shocked कि मेरे father तो कहीं गए नहीं, घर पे बैठे कैसे हो गए?
Correct. So I don't know whether I should go for my second shot after 8 weeks. And if after 8 weeks, if I go for my second shot, should I be staying at home, lock myself in for 14 days before I could conduct my antibody test? Well, I'm just getting scared. I was not scared when I saw COVID-1. I was going to the farmers' agitation. I was going to I was going everywhere. I was going for work. And obviously, I was not following the protocol so much that I'm wearing mask all the time. Okay, when I'm sitting in my office, when I'm talking to somebody, I don't have to wear a mask. When I'm drinking tea and doing something or the other. But now, this COVID-2, the way it is affected, I'm more worried for people in my house. I really don't know whether I should get vaccinated now and wait for 2 weeks so that, by June, when the market open up, I can still go out. I don't know. For this entire month, I'm just perplexed. And there are a lot of people like me who don't even know what to do next.
There are a lot, everyone is like that only. I want to like, I'm thinking that मैं कब लूँ अपनी dose, and if I'm going, I don't want to expose my family members, my kids, my other, it's so much of dilemma everybody's in. What to do? There's no clarity on anything actually.
There's no clarity.
There's no clarity. There's no study. There's no theory.
Okay.
Now people are saying because there are less of shortage of vaccines, so they are saying 12 to 16 weeks, 12 to 14 weeks. Covaxin, one of my friends, she shifted from Delhi to Chandigarh. She had Covaxin first dose, and now we are struggling for her for the second dose of Covaxin. मिल ही नहीं रहा कहीं पे Chandigarh में.
Yeah.
Because for Covaxin, they are saying 28 days. You have to get it after 28 days. There's no change in that.
Covaxin is in shortage in every state, presumably.
Yeah.
Biotech is making it, the capacity to make vaccine is not more than 90 lakhs right now. They're trying to increase their capacity by giving it to more pharma companies. I think the government was taken totally by surprise. They did not realize that in the month of April, so much need for vaccination or oxygen would come. Vaccine is the new oxygen now. I think vaccine is the new oxygen. Even if people who are not affected, they need the vaccine to go out. Otherwise, they'll be stranded at home and they can't go out unless they get the vaccine on time.
Sputnik also, Dr. Reddy is releasing. They are saying that they will be available in June, after June.
It's going to be probably a short supply for next 8 months to 1 year. It's kind of a roulette call. Whoever gets it will be the lucky one, and whoever does not get it will be affected if any other wave comes in. And I'm scared if the third wave comes in and people start to kind of panic, then it's going to be a total breakdown of the system. I hope that doesn't come in.
Yeah, it would be a disaster for the country.
Yeah,
economy
is very bad right now. Businesses are very low. People have lost their jobs sitting at home. Achha, last time in last season, there was still 4% GDP growth because of the agriculture. This year, the agriculture looks very bad because of the farmers' agitation. So the only economy which was running on, we were running on agriculture as economy, as GDP 4% was because of the agriculture. This year, I think it will be hardly 2.5% because I'll tell you about the sugar people. I just got to know that a lot of sugar farmers are not getting money for the cane that they have given to the factories from December onwards because the government is not buying any sugar. If the government does not buy sugar from the factories to distribute, the factories will have no money to give it to the farmers for the cane growers. So it's a catch-22 situation. So
that is
you will die of COVID, you will die of hunger, you will die of various other things.
That is what the Bihar people and all these, they are saying, वहाँ से मरना, अपने घर जाके तो मरेंगे. COVID से क्यों मरना? We'll die of hunger. Either way, we will die.
Yes.
Country is in a really bad shape.
Let's see. We've had a good discussion. I'm going to, because I've recorded it, I will make a clip of 10-15 minutes for my audience to, understand what we are talking about. A lot of people don't have any knowledge. So with our talk, they gain a lot of knowledge, insight into what we are saying. And maybe they will time their vaccination program and they will time their treatments for their loved ones and for their family accordingly. Because this is how the only way we can pass on information through social media to people. There's no other way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr.
You're saying something, and call me Avi, not Avinder. Avi sounds good.
Okay. So Avi, thank you very much. And we are going to connect soon. I'll have 1 or 2 more doctors on the panel next time and we're going to talk about it at length. Yeah.
Pleasure is all mine. Take care and be safe.
You too.
Bye. Yeah. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.